Hello, this is Miss Paolini. I figured I would walk through the practice test that was given to you guys a few weeks ago when I had a sub. I have extra copies in class if you'd like to pick them up. Also, I'm going to be going through this little thing. I'm calling it our biggest mistakes or our greatest mistakes. This is posted on Canvas under Module 1, so you can find that. Because I wanted to model for you what good work on a test looks like, as well as clear up some common errors that we were making. So let's start. Topic 1 was area, and topic 2 was upper and lower bounds and percent error. Okay, now you have several area formulas on your IB sheet. The only one that you need to know in your heart is the kite formula, which is area equals 1/2 D1 times D2, where these are these guys, those are called the diagonals. Okay. Now for the rest of these, something that came up a lot was that students would write down the area formula incorrectly. And I want to remind you that you have all of them, most of them besides that kite, right here. Additionally, if you have a square or a rectangle, that's really just a parallelogram, same area formula, okay? So here where it says find the area of each, oh, what shape is this? Ask yourself, oh, this is a circle. I'm looking for the area, make sure you look area, circle. And then you don't need to write this down, but if it helps you, do it. Area pi r squared, I wrote it down exactly, r is the radius, perfect, okay? On your test, what I want to see is you setting up the area formula correctly, pi and then 12 squared, okay? And then you can go ahead, once things are plugged in here, variables alone, you can plug that right into a calculator, and it should be able to read this very easily. Make sure to use your calculator's value of pi if needed, okay? So what that's gonna look like for me is pi, I can write times, but I don't have to, 12 squared. Okay. 452.389, and then let's make sure, what did I need? Can you read that? Yeah, 3 sig figs, okay? 3 sig figs, so starting from left to right, 3 digits typically will be the 3 sig figs. Look at the value to the right from there, 0.3, so that makes us stay rounded down. So then my final answer will be area equals 452, and then don't forget your units. I'm finding an area. Area requires square units, so feet squared, okay? And then, of course, because you want my life to be easier, because grading is better when my life is easier, box your answer, okay? On a test, when I say show your work, what I mean by that is that on this one, for example, your work is whatever you might end up being typing on your calculator, like this, and then I would say this. Like that's the bare minimum for what I would call show work. This allows me to give you partial credit, and also IB gives points. So if you got this wrong, but on the IB test, like you wrote this down, you would get a point for doing this alone. And then you'd also get the point for getting the correct answer. So when I say show work, 1, it's good practice for you. And 2, you're not gonna write things down wrong in your calculator because you have it in front of your face. And then 3, that's how IB grades. They grade the work, they grade the answer, okay? So show your work. I don't just say it to annoy you. I do it because it's also good for you. Here, find the area of each. If you see a shape that has 2 parallel sides that are not equal in length, this is a trapezoid, okay? And you have the area of a trapezoid on your IB sheet, so just copy it down exactly, okay? 1/2 A plus B times H, and it says AB are the parallel sides. So now I'm just going to fill in what I know. 12 plus 4.6 times 11. Okay. And again, I could type this all into my calculator. I might use 0.5 on my calculator instead of 1/2, just to make sure it doesn't get confused. Or I might do in parentheses. Oh, 1/2 is 1 divided by 2 times 12 plus 4.6 times 11. Okay. Or if you wanted to, you could show more steps along the way. I could add these together, and then that's 16.6 times 11, but you don't have to necessarily do that, because right here I can just plug in. Oh, this didn't say what to round to. I guess I'll keep, you know, we've talked about how 3 sig figs is like pretty safe. This is 3 sig figs, so I'll keep it there. And I won't forget my units. And then I'll box my final answer. Okay. And again, for showing the work, if I'm grading your test, I want to see at least this, and of course, at least your final answer. This is the work, this is your final answer. And then lastly, the kite, okay? This is a kite. I know that because these two sides are equal in touching, these two sides are equal measurement in touching, okay? I'm given the diagonals here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plug in. And then again, I'm ready to go. I'll just plug that in my calculator. 1/2 times 5.8 times 12, 34.8. I didn't give us how many sig figs I want, so let's just stick with 3. Oh, this isn't inches, this is meters. Check that your units are what you're actually given. This is meters. And it's area, so it's square meters. That's the work. That's your final answer. These pink boxes are what I want to see on a test. This is the work I need you to show, okay? I'm gonna scoot up. These ones are a little bit different because you are finding the missing measurement and you're given the area. But again, we know the area of a circle is pi r squared, okay? And if you don't know that, copy it down exactly. Plug in what you know, which is 158 equals pi r squared. All right, and then here, pi r squared, they are touching each other, and when we're touching in mathematics, we are multiplying. So to cancel out multiplication, because we want to get this r alone, divide both sides by pi. And then I'm running out of vertical space, so I'm just gonna move myself up here. So then 158 over pi is equal to r squared. I can start, I mean, if I want to, I can show, that's like 50.29, so 293. This says round your answer to the nearest whole. So I'm going to keep at least 2 more decimals than I need as I work, right? So the nearest whole number would be 50. So I'm gonna keep at least 2 more decimal places out as I work along the way to make sure I have enough accuracy in the end. And that's r squared. And then to cancel out something squared, I'm going to square root. Okay. I only square root when I have something squared, because that's what cancels, okay? On my calculator, I can do second square root, and then I can use the ands button to get this will take the 50.29, so I don't have to even write out all these decimals, okay? It'll keep that accuracy for me. 7.092. Oh, also, as soon as I start approximating, I gotta use the squiggle, would be r, and then in this case to the nearest whole number, so I would write r is about 7, and units, centimeters. And since this is just the length of r, it is not centimeters squared, it is just centimeters. If I were grading your test, I would want to see literally like all of this. And maybe you don't need to put this, but you do need to put this. You do need to put your final answer, obviously. Okay, that's everything I'd want to see. And then here is a triangle. Again, finding a missing measurement. Okay, I know I have an area. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. I have 22.5 as my base. Equals, no, 22.5 is my area. Goodness gracious, I misspoke. My base is this side. Very important, your base is the side where your height makes that perpendicular, okay? And then I don't know what this is. Let's give it a variable, like x. And then to solve from here, you have multiple choices. I think the best thing to do is I have something with a dang denominator, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to cancel out the 2 in the denominator of the 1/2. So that's 45 equals 7.9x. 7.9 and x are touching each other. They are multiplying. So to undo multiplication, we must divide. And so this will cancel out, and I am left with 5.6962. What do I want to round to? I should always read that before I even start. Nearest tenth. So along the way, I'm keeping at least a few decimal places after the tenths place. The 6 here is the tenths place. So if I want to round to that, 6 is my last digit then. This 9 makes me round up. So my final answer should be 5.7. Oh, I need that approximate equal. 5.7 is approximately x. Oh my gosh, and units. I'll squeeze it in down there. 5.7 kilometers. And if I am your teacher, which I am, and I am grading this, I want to see you working, doing the work along the way. I'd really want to see all of that. Okay, and that's it for topic 1. Join back for topic 2. And if we want to talk about greatest mistakes, just people forgetting your units, please remember your units, area, square units, length is just the unit. Copy down the area formula exactly as it's on the IB formula sheet. You need to know the kite formula. And when solving for a measurement, specifically set up the area formula. I saw a lot of people use Pythagorean theorem. Pythag is not for area. It's only for side lengths, okay? And then as well, simplifying and solving. Please make sure you know your inverse operations, addition and subtraction undo each other, multiplication and division. Only square root if the variable's alone and the variable's squared. I saw a lot of people having any variable, like x here, and then they square root it at the end for some reason. If x ain't squared, don't square root it, okay? See you on the next one.